I have done my homework and my research, try to study certain things because it applied to me directly. But once again, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a PT, I'm not a professional when it comes to transverse myelitis. I have it. I've had it for the last 6 years as of today, so since 2019, 6 years. And this is just a small dose of what I've experienced, all based upon and geared towards the questions you guys asked. The next one's going to be about my recovery, my specific recovery. And there's so much I can say about recovery. I've tried so many different things. I was very active, and my wife was very active of finding all different types of solutions. So to not drag out the video, because I can talk for a very long time about recovery and treatments. I'm only going to answer the questions as best as I can. And then, like I mentioned, you got any more questions, feel free to reach out. So someone asked me, I'm only 6 weeks post. How long was it for you until the little improvement stuck and became permanent? Permanent is the wrong word to ask me or to use. As you can see, I can move my legs and my toes, and I can wiggle. I've been able to work towards having a lot, but this current state is not permanent. Unfortunately, in regards to me, and with me and transverse myelitis, is if I don't use it, I lose it. So I'm gonna answer this question, but I'm gonna not mention the permanent part. So instead, I'm going to answer it in this fashion. I'm only 6 weeks post. How long was it for you until the little improvement stuck and became consistent? I'll change it to consistent, not permanent. Nothing's permanent for me. I would say about a year being post physical therapy. So from March to March. So March 2019. March 2020. March 2019 to March 2020. By 2020, I now was comfortable and was more familiar of the limitations of my body and what I could and could not do. And that is when I was able to find a consistency in my recovery and my mobility of what I could do and what I could not do, if I could get stronger or not. For the record, leg-wise, I really can't get any stronger. Going back to the permanent thing is just because it just resets. My muscles are not the same every single day. So that's that question. There's a second question. And when did it just get to the timeline where it just kept restarting every day? So the restart. And he's asking this question because I made a video on regards to every day is like a reset for me. And what I really mean by that is not that I worked really hard at walking today and tomorrow I can't walk. It's not that kind of restart. But what I mean by restart is I really can't build off of yesterday's wins and successes. The best way I can explain it is if yesterday I was back squatting 200 pounds and tomorrow I go into the gym and I feel like I can get back into that 200, that's not the case. Sometimes I couldn't even push through 160, even just testing it out. So the reset is a reset of mentality, a reset of perspective, a reset of expectations. Is that whatever happened yesterday, however well I moved or however bad I moved, however well I felt or however bad I felt, today was a new day, and everything I did yesterday can make things better or worse today. But I wasn't banking on, my mindset wasn't banking on what victories I had, So to answer your question is, it's always been like that. And that's kind of what they told me when I was in physical therapy, when they said, hey, we're going to work towards every day getting someone and try to create momentum, but don't let moments, don't think you're going to be able to carry one moment to another day, and so they already set that expectation that with transverse myelitis and the cases they've seen is, I could feel great today and walk normally today, and tomorrow it can be a completely different story. So unfortunately, to this very day, I'm 6 years in. It is since 2019, and I have a better consistency, but I still continue to battle my body differently every day. So I take it day by day. Another question is, I have lost sense of soft touch as well from chest down, pins and needles in my legs as well, and strength in my right hand and left hip, left calf. Other than training, is there anything else you reckon I should try so that can help me? And what do you think your recovery, and when do you think your recovery stopped and became established and sort of no more permanent improvement? Thanks. Okay, 2 questions there. What do I recommend? A lot of what I've learned is not so much what I force my body to do, but it's also how I rest. If I rest too much, then that does kind of undo all the training that I did. And if I don't rest enough, I don't allow my body to recover from said training, what it was. So I've done a lot of CrossFit, basketball. I do a lot of powerlifting, Olympic lifting, strength training, bodybuilding. I've tried all very different things, and what I have learned is all different styles of training do serve a different purpose. So when I was doing strictly powerlifting, I was realizing that I was getting stronger, but I wasn't very mobile. I was a lot more stiff because it's geared more about strength when I'm just powerlifting. When I was doing Olympic lifting, I realized that I was a lot more loose because it required a lot more of timing and movements and getting my whole body engaged at a specific right time, a specific moment. And I can go down the list of how they're all different. And I'm getting to a point. Is I had to change things up consistently and try new motions, different forms of working out, different exercises, different sports, so that my body kept learning and adapting, and then coupled in with learning how to rest in different ways. I bought myself some Normatec wraps that are just like these leg wraps that you put your legs in there and they inflate with air and they apply pressure and they close and whatnot. I've done sauna, dry sauna, wet sauna, hot sauna, jacuzzis, infrared therapy, through a sauna or through a laser, very, very deep tissue massage. So unfortunately, you have to adapt and you have to change and you have to force your body to do different things so it can recover and rest in very different ways so you can recover too. Unfortunately, with me, just sitting down and resting and laying down, it is not restful for my body. I've learned something that's called active rest, and that's usually like going for a brisk walk. Is just resting for my body, since my body's so used to being like go, 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 go. So that's what I recommend, right? For your first question is I recommend that you have to just try everything, a little bit of everything. And if something works, don't get married to that. If something's working, take a couple risks and dabble into something different, shock the body in a good way, and then go back to the thing that you felt comfortable with. Because if you only continue to do the stuff that make you feel comfortable because you can move well, you're going to limit different areas. Like when I did CrossFit, I got really well at the sport, but then I lost my lateral movement. So when I went back to playing basketball or attempting to try to play basketball, I struggled significantly like I've never struggled before. And it's because all I did was CrossFit, and CrossFit's a lot of this and that. And then for your second question, when did I establish? Once again, like about a year in my recovery, I really established the understanding of what I had to do to move forward. And once again, and it was trying different things, different forms of recovery, different forms of exercises. Yeah. Next question. How long did it take for you to start walking from the day you got TM? All right, so I got TM on a Friday, and then I was in the hospital from Friday to the following Saturday. And then that following Saturday, I got admitted to an intensive physical therapy in California, in Vallejo, California. And that was a Saturday. That following Friday, I took my first unassisted steps. They were ugly. It was like 3 steps, and that's about it. No one holding me. And then from then, it just kept progressing better and better. By the time 5 weeks in, my wife knows the timelines way better than I do. It's just, for me, it was just go, go, go. But anywho, about 5 weeks later, I walked out of intensive therapy. So from TM, about 8 weeks. We'll play it safe. Between 5 to 8 weeks is when I was able to walk on my own. Wasn't very far, but I didn't need assistance from the cane. And it was really, really short distances. I was able to walk out of the hospital with a cane. So let me clarify that, okay? Let me clarify that. Between the 5 to 8 weeks, I was walking with a cane. Without a cane, like 2 months. So after TM, like 2 months. In 2 months, I was walking. I can walk from here to like the bathroom in my 800 square foot, 900, whatever size house it was. And then walk back, and then I was exhausted. Like, I was tired. Like, just doing that, walking from one side of the house to the other house was exhausting. Yeah. How many days did I get recovery? I keep getting this question asked a lot in this format, like how many days do you get recovery? And I always answered it as like, how many days did I work towards my recovery? Every day. Every day. I'm not recovered. That's not encouraging, I know, but I'm not recovered. I look recovered. To the naked eye, I look recovered, but every day I'm grinding. Every day I'm working towards being able to maintain this, because once again, I'm going to go back, like, none of this is permanent. Currently right now, I have a fractured foot, which has limited my movement to walk, and I am losing my ability to walk. The longer I have this boot on and I'm not being able to move my legs in very different fashions I'm losing that ability to walk. I'm walking slower. It's getting harder for me to get around the house, go up the stairs and down the stairs, and I've been training for 6 years straight. So how many days do you recover? Every day. Every day. So what was your recovery process like? All right. The recovery process started physical therapy, and it started with occupational and physical therapy. Occupational was showing me how to get around in a wheelchair and live in a wheelchair, because that was the expectation they had for me, that I would at best walk with a cane from time to time, but I was going to spend my time in a wheelchair. That was their expectation of me. Praise the Lord, that's not it. That wasn't the case. All glory to Him. But my recovery process was very, very slow, very difficult, very humiliating, very humbling, very difficult. A lot of crying, a lot of sadness, a lot of insecurity, a lot of pain. I remember my first day going back into the gym. Okay, before I get that, I don't want to get too far ahead. I want to answer the question. So was 6 weeks of physical therapy. Then it was about 12 weeks of outpatient therapy. And then after that, I was kind of a fast learner, and I've done sports all my life. And before getting transverse myelitis, I was already into a lot of lifting and working out and training, basketball, soccer, track, baseball. Like, that was I already knew all those things. So by like 12 weeks, I started going to the gym. And that is where the story kicks in. Is the first time I went to the gym, I was very, very scared. It was April. And because I got released in February, so it was April. And I went in there, and I have to work out my legs. So I went to the squat machine, and I put 2 10 pounds on each side, right? And I was just like, okay, I'm going to play it safe. It's been a while since I squatted, and this is assisted, so I don't have to worry about a bar or anything. And I got under the squat rack, well, the assisted rack, and I couldn't get it. I couldn't unhinge it. I couldn't even push it up. It was 20 pounds, and you can add whatever that machine weighed, but 30 pounds, and I couldn't. And I stopped what I was doing. I left, and I cried in the car. I cried in the car for a while. I called my wife, and I'm like, I can't do this. I quit. And I'm telling that story so to let you know that it's hard. It's absolutely hard. So the recovery process had a lot of crying, a lot of fear, a lot of doubt, but I took it moment for moment. So like I said, I went from physical therapy to outbound patient therapy, where I would go to the hospital twice a week. That turned into once a week. That turned into once every other week. They gave me things to do at home. I went to the gym, had the experience, said I wasn't going to return, and I was just working around home. Then finally got the courage again and went back into the gym, and it was progressive. And I really haven't stopped since. So that's how it's been with me physically. And then the actual recovering, like resting recovery, I didn't really learn how to do that until almost like 2 years. Like I wish, if I had to throw in a little like nugget, is learn to recover, like resting recover sooner than later. Like with transverse myelitis, they tell us like, get to work. And the sooner you can work, the sooner you get around, the more you'll be able to retain, go. Like all that is true. But I wish someone would have told me that I needed to learn how to rest in an active way, how to learn how to rest my body while still being able to move. So I would recommend that. All right, next topic will be treatments. It says, have you tried stem cell treatment or considered it? No, I haven't. I've been kind of following it a little bit about it, but the only thing that stopped me from doing it is just I have heard of anyone who has transverse myelitis has had success with stem cells, at least more success than I've already had now. So it's a return on investment. Like once again, this is for me. I have a lot of my mobility, and I've learned how to manage my pain. I've gotten very far with how to live with transverse myelitis that doing stem cell, the risk is a lot more higher for me than the reward. And that's the only reason I haven't considered it. I have heard that it helps with mobility and being able to be mobile again. Like I mentioned, I'm mobile. So how much more mobile would it make me? Like, is it worth the cost? Is it worth the time? Is it worth the money? So that's why I haven't done it. And then the next question is, what kind of sports therapy did you do? One of my lifesavers was I found myself a sports therapist who is she's a certified massage therapist, but she loves sports, so I call her a sports therapist. She's not like a physical therapist that you get out of hospital, but man, anywho. I found myself a sports therapist who was really good at something called myofascial therapy, which I don't really know too much about it other than it worked for me. And all I really understood is it helped my nervous system calm down, and it helped with the nerve pain and the chronic pain. And on top of that, like she would massage my muscles, as she would move my limbs, and I paid out of pocket for that. And to tell you the truth, like that is the number one thing that kept me going, the number one thing that allowed me to combat the pain, the number one thing that allowed me to keep pushing was my sports therapist. And unfortunately, I don't see her anymore because she lives in California, and that's where I used to live, and I no longer live there. I live in South Carolina. So I did that. still actively looking for someone out here that does that in South Carolina, and she is a diamond in the rough. She's like a unicorn. I have not been able to find anyone like her out here, but I'm still working on it. But I've tried deep tissue massages, which for sure work, but I need to find someone who really goes in deep. Like no knock to Massage Envy, but I have yet to meet someone in Massage Envy that can go deep enough into the muscles to really alleviate some of the pain. So Theraguns, infrared therapy, jacuzzis, anything that has to do with heat and cold. The only thing I haven't done is ice baths because the ice hurts so much. So anytime something really cold touches me, or if I get into cold water, I feel like I'm being stabbed. It's very, very painful. So yeah, treatment-wise, that's that. They didn't ask me this, but I'm going to go ahead and just mention it. I do not take anything at all. Me. Once again, I am not a professional. I am not a doctor. I'm not a pharmacist, but I do not take anything at all that affects my mental state, antidepressant, or blurs my judgment. I don't. I value my peace of mind. I value my mind. So I would rather deal with the pain than to compromise my mind. That's me, though. The pain does hurt. It is really bad. People don't understand. Some of my doctors my neurologists are like, I know this is painful. Why don't you take something for it? I'm like, if it compromises, if it's an antidepressant, whatever, like no, I'm good. I don't want to do it. So, but that's me, okay? And no knock to anyone who does. Like, you do what you have to do for your body. I'll do what I have to do for my body. But treatment-wise, I do not take anything at all that will compromise my state of mind.